You're tuning into the deep dive because you want to cut through the noise and really get Shopify programming right. You're looking
Yeah.
for the essential knowledge without getting, bogged down.
Exactly. Too much detail can be overwhelming.
Well, that's pretty much what we're here to do today.
So today, we're taking a close look at Shopify programming. We're using an article from Observer Point, Mastering the Shopify Ecosystem, as our sort of guide. It's from April 19th, 2025.
Think of this as your, shortcut to understanding the core stuff. We'll drill down into the technical bits you need to know.
The foundations.
Yeah, foundations, theme development, building those checkout apps.
And the other kinds of apps, too.
Right, the whole landscape. The mission is simple. Give you a solid, insightful understanding of what Shopify programming actually involves.
Okay, let's do it. Where should we start? Maybe the tech basics.
Yeah, let's unpack the tech foundations first.
Absolutely. The article makes it super clear. If you want to work with Shopify, you got to speak the web's language. Meaning, for the storefront, what customers actually see and click on, that's HTML for structure,
Okay.
CSS for, making it look good, the styling,
Right.
and JavaScript for making things happen, the interactive bits.
Like the skeleton, the clothes, and the movement.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. HTML is the frame, CSS the paint, and furniture, JavaScript makes the light switch on.
Okay, got it. If you've messed around with websites at all, you've probably bumped into these.
Definitely.
But the article also says, for going beyond just the looks, for building actual apps,
Yeah.
you need more, right? Like back-end languages.
That's right. That's where things like Ruby come in, especially with the Shopify app framework they provide. And Node.js is another big one.
So Shopify has its own framework using Ruby.
Yeah, they've built this robust framework. It makes Ruby a really efficient choice often for building apps right inside their ecosystem, like having custom tools for just this job.
Interesting. Okay, what about APIs? The article mentions RESTful APIs and GraphQL being increasingly important.
Ah, yes.
Let's-
APIs.
For people maybe less familiar, what are those exactly in this context? Like, how do they fit in?
Think of them as messengers or maybe translators. They let different bits of software talk to each other securely and share information.
Okay.
So every Shopify store has tons of data, right? Products, customers, orders, inventory.
Right, those of it.
APIs like REST and GraphQL are the standard ways your custom app or maybe some other service can access and use that data securely, of course.
And GraphQL is mentioned specifically. Why is that special?
Well, the really powerful thing about GraphQL, which the article touches on, is it lets you ask for exactly the data you need, just the specific bits, nothing extra.
Ah, so not like a whole dump of information.
Exactly, not the whole set menu, just the specific dish you want. This can make your apps way faster and more efficient.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Less waste.
Precisely.
Now, the article also brings up something called Liquid. Sounds fluid.
Yeah, it does. But it's actually Shopify's core templating language.
Templating language for themes.
Yeah. So imagine your store's database has all the raw info, product names, prices, images. Liquid is like the recipe that tells the HTML how to arrange and display all that information nicely on the actual web page the customer sees.
So if I want to change how my product page looks or build a totally custom section, I'm using Liquid.
You got it. You'll be working directly with Liquid code alongside HTML and CSS to control that visual presentation. It's key for customizing the look and feel.
Okay, cool. So we've got the web basics, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, back-end options like Ruby, Node.js, APIs for data sharing, especially GraphQL, and Liquid for the visual templating.
That's a good summary of the core tech stack, yeah?
But how do you keep all this code organized? Especially if you're working with others who just don't want to break things. The article mentions Git.
Oh, definitely. Git, think of it like a safety net or time machine for your code.
A time machine?
Yeah, it tracks every single change you make, every save. So if you mess something up badly... it happens. You can just rewind back to a previous version that worked. It's invaluable, especially for teams. But honestly, even if you're working alone, saves so much headache.
Right. Version control.
Yeah.
Essential stuff.
Absolutely. So we have these building blocks. Maybe now we should look at how they're used to build the actual storefront, like theme development.
Yeah, good transition. Let's talk themes. This is really about shaping what the customer sees, that front-end experience.
Exactly. And the article says you can either tweak an existing theme, Lots of people start there. Or, build a completely custom one from the ground up.
Using those languages we just talked about. Yeah. Liquid, HTML, CSS, JavaScript.
Precisely. Those are your tools for theme work. And the piece highlights a few key things developers focus on here, like responsive design.
Making it work on phones and tablets and everything.
You got it. With so many people shopping on their phones now, it's not optional anymore.
Yeah.
Your sting has to look good and work smoothly on any screen size. It's about that consistent experience.
Absolutely crucial. What else is big in theme development, according to the article?
Performance optimization is another huge one.
Meaning how fast the site loads.
Yeah. Nobody likes a slow website. A slow store can lose you customers, and it can even hurt your Google rankings. So developers work on making sure the theme code is clean, images are optimized, everything loads snappy.
Makes sense. And accessibility, that was mentioned too.
Right. Accessibility means designing the store so people with disabilities, maybe using screen readers or keyboard navigation, can still use it easily. It's about being inclusive, making sure everyone can shop.
These are all really important considerations for any online business, not just technically, but for the user experience.
Totally.
Did the article give examples of theme customizations? Like what kind of things would a developer actually do?
Yeah, it did. It could be anything from, say, creating a really unique homepage layout that's different from the standard themes, or adding special sections for specific types of content, maybe like video galleries or testimonials, things the store owner can then easily update themselves later.
Making it flexible for the merchant too.
Exactly. Or integrating other services directly into the theme, like maybe putting a live chat widget in the corner or embedding an Instagram feed.
Got it.
The main point here really is that understanding Shopify's theme architecture, how themes are structured and following best practices, is vital. That's how you deliver a storefront that's not just pretty, but also easy to use and reliable.
Okay, so themes cover the visual storefront. What about the buying process itself? The article talks about building Shopify checkout apps.
Yeah, this is interesting. Shopify lets developers create apps that plug right into the checkout flow.
So you can actually modify the checkout steps.
To an extent, yes. Extend its functionality. For example, the article mentions adding custom fields. Maybe you need to collect, I don't know, a gift message or ask about delivery instructions.
Okay. So specific info the merchant needs.
Right. Or you could build an app that offers like dynamic discounts based on what's in the cart. Or maybe integrates with a payment gateway that Shopify doesn't support out of the box.
Wow. Okay. That opens up possibilities.
It does. It allows merchants to tailor the checkout experience more closely to their specific business model.
But I imagine Shopify has some pretty strict rules around messing with the checkout.
Oh, absolutely. The article stresses this. Developers have to use Shopify's specific guidelines and a framework they call checkout extensibility.
Checkout extensibility. Okay.
Yeah, it's designed to ensure that any app hooking into the checkout is secure, performs well, and doesn't, break the core buying process.
That makes sense. It's a critical part of the store.
Totally. And technically, the article points out this usually needs strong front-end skills JavaScript, often React these days.
React, okay.
And sometimes back-end logic, too, for handling the data or talking to other systems. It's like adding a custom feature to a really high security area. You need to follow the rules precisely.
And I bet security is paramount here.
Yeah.
People are entering payment details.
Non-negotiable. Security and performance are top priorities. Any checkout app has to be built with that in mind. It directly impacts trust and whether someone completes their purchase. Secure coding is critical.
Right. Makes perfect sense. Okay, so themes for the look, checkout apps for tailoring the purchase. But the article also broadened things out, talking about creating other kinds of Shopify apps. What else is possible?
Oh, this is where it gets really wide open. The possibilities are, huge. These apps can extend Shopify's core features in basically endless ways to help merchants run their businesses better.
Like what kind of things? Give me some examples.
Okay, so the article mentions things like maybe more advanced inventory management than Shopify offers natively.
Okay.
Or tools to automate marketing, sending out personalized email sequences based on customer behavior, for instance.
Clever.
Integrating with accounting software like QuickBooks or Xero to make the finances smoother. Or building custom dashboards with really deep analytics beyond the standard reports.
So these sound more like tools for the merchant, behind the scenes.
A lot of them are, yes. Helping them manage operations, marketing, finances, analytics, streamlining their work.
And how are these built? What's the tech involved there?
Well, developers primarily use the Shopify API. Again, think of the API as the set of rules and tools Shopify provides for apps to securely interact with the store's data and functions.
The digital doorways again.
Exactly. And the Shopify app framework, which the article also brings up, gives you a structured starting point, handling a lot of the basic setup and integration stuff for you. It's like a developer kit for Shopify apps.
And the skills needed. The article mentioned needing both front-end and back-end skills for these often.
That's usually the case for more complex apps, yeah. You might use Ruby on Rails, especially with Shopify's own Ruby gem, which is like a library of tools.
Okay.
Or Node.js for the back-end logic, the app's brain. Then on the front end, you'd build the user interface the merchant interacts with, maybe using React or Vue.js, something like that, often appearing right within their Shopify admin panel.
So it feels integrated.
Exactly. Seamless. And the article also flags a couple of other key technical pieces. OAuth.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the standard, secure way for an app to get permission to access a store's data without the merchant having to share their actual Shopify password. It's all about secure authorization.
Crucial for security and trust.
Definitely. And the other thing is webhooks.
Webhooks.
Think of them as notifications. They let Shopify tell your app in real time when something specific happens in the store, like a new order comes in or a product gets updated, so your app can react instantly.
Okay, so OAuth for secure access, webhooks for real-time updates. Sounds like those are pretty fundamental for building useful integrated apps.
They really are. Essential for making apps that feel truly connected to the Shopify platform.
It really paints a picture of a massive ecosystem, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The potential for extending Shopify seems almost limitless.
That's definitely a key takeaway from the article. Shopify is designed to be extended. Custom apps are a huge part of its power, letting developers fill all sorts of niches and solve real problems for merchants.
Right. So let's try and wrap this up. We've done a deep dive into Shopify programming using that Observer Point article as our map.
Yep.
We kicked off with the technical must-haves, HTML, CSS, JavaScript.
The front-end basics, then the back-end side, like Ruby and Node.js.
And the importance of APIs, especially GraphQL for efficient data fetching.
And Liquid, the special sauce for making themes look right. Plus, Git for managing code.
Then we moved into theme development, making stores look great, work everywhere, load fast, and be accessible.
Customizing that visual storefront.
Followed by a look at building Shopify checkout apps, extending the buying process, but carefully, using checkout extensibility and focusing hard on security.
Yeah, that sensitive checkout area.
And finally, we broadened out to the huge world of other Shopify apps, inventory, marketing, accounting, analytics.
All built using the Shopify API, the app framework, often needing both front-end and back-end skills, and using things like OAuth and webhooks.
So hopefully, if you were wondering what Shopify programming really entails, this gives you a much clearer picture, a solid foundation.
Yeah, a good overview of the different facets.
And now, just something to think about. Considering all these possibilities within the Shopify ecosystem, all the ways you can extend it, what specific e-commerce problem or maybe an opportunity out there really sparks your curiosity? What might you want to build?
That's a great question to ponder. And if you do want to dig deeper into any of this, the article mentioned checking out resources like the official Shopify for Developers site, their Liquid documentation, info on themes and best practices, check out extensibility guides, app development guides, the API references.
Lots of places to go next.
Absolutely. Plenty of material out there if this has piqued your interest. Those are fantastic starting points for continuing the learning journey.